This is Karcher's flagship home and garden pressure washer, the K7. Looks a very impressive piece of kit, but is it really worth the £600 price tag for a domestic pressure washer? I'll be taking a look at how it performs for garden maintenance as well as car cleaning, plus giving my thoughts and recommendations at the end of the video, so let's start with getting it connected and get cleaning. Back in August 2024, Karcher cut back the K7 range and was only available in two models: Premium Smart Control, which replaces the one that I'm using, and a newer, cheaper Power model. With each having exactly the same power units, the only thing that differs is the accessories. Moving on to spring 2025, and the K7 is still only available in those two models, but they've introduced a newer, more flexible anti-kink hose across the range, and everything now comes with a free 5 years warranty with an additional year if you buy direct. Seems like Karcher have listened to feedback with the new hose. Sadly, I don't have that on this model that I'm using in the video, as I've borrowed it from a good friend. Sadly, there's no more K7 Compact, which is a real shame, as I thought that was well priced for such a small but powerful machine, but it's been replaced by the K7 Power Flex for an incredibly cheap $409.99 at the moment, and includes a 5-year warranty with the option of a further year if you buy it direct from Karcher. Obviously prices will vary, but I'll keep the cheapest available links in the description for you to check out. If you're an avid viewer of GM details, you'll know I currently enjoy using my Karcher K5 Compact, so when I picked up this K7 for review, I just had to sit them side by side for you to see the comparison. The K7 is huge beside the compact K5, but not that much difference in terms of performance. You see, for what I mainly use a pressure washer for is car cleaning, and for this the K5 is perfect for me at delivering up to 500 litres per hour of water, compared to the K7 which delivers up to 550 litres per hour. Is there any difference in cleaning ability? We'll find that out later in the video. If your cleaning is more garden based, then certainly the K7 with its max 180 bar of pressure versus the K5's 145 bar might certainly lean you towards the K7. In this video I'm not going to compare the two side by side. I've already got a full review of the K5 uploaded, so if you'd like to watch that after this one and make up your mind which one would be best for you, because everybody looks for a different thing, and I'm certainly not here to sell you one or the other. But if you do choose to buy one, please click the links in the description below and I might get a little bit of commission. You never know. The first test is going to see which is best between using Karcher's stone cleaning product, the variable lance, or the dirt blaster, which for the K7 Smart Control is all in the one lance, but for the new cheaper PowerFlex model it's a separate attachment. I've no issues with that, as that all-in-one attachment is a bit bulky for my liking. It reminds me of Captain Caveman's Club from those cartoons in the 80s. The Karcher cleaning products are easily dispensed from the plug and clean system, which is now standard on both models of the K7. It's clean and easy without the risk of bottles flying over using a filling tube. Then all you need to do is turn the 3-in-1 multi-jet to the mix setting, and you're applying the product diluting exactly as Karcher intends it to be used, which doesn't give the user any flexibility in dilutions. With the stone and paving cleaner applied, it says to leave it for a short while to soak in, so I'll get on with the spinning turbo nozzle on the other paving slabs. Although it's a dramatic difference for a few seconds use, it really is the most aggressive way of cleaning slabs, and also wears them down. So as the spinning turbo nozzle pretty much blasts away the dirt and the top surface area of the concrete, it's not so much cleaning as, well, sandblasting. A more gentler approach would be using the pressure washer jet spray setting on maximum, and we'll see what difference that makes. That's not too bad actually. It's not as quite a deeper clean as the spinning turbo nozzle, but it's also not removed as much of the slab, and therefore it's a gentler clean. Maybe another few seconds with the spray would help, but I'm just impatient and just switched to the 100% plus power option of the spinning turbo to get the job done. I nearly forgot about the stone cleaner product I applied earlier. You're supposed to rinse that off after it's been working or left to dwell for a few minutes, so here goes. So there we have it then. The stone and paving cleaner hasn't really touched the grime, let alone the embedded lichen, so I'm not going to waste any more time on that and just switch to the Captain Caveman 100% plus power turbo and get this patio job cleaned up. For 20-year-old concrete paving slabs, they're never going to look perfect, and it's a vast improvement in what they looked like before. But how damaging can these different nozzles be? I'll demonstrate that next. The K7 Premium Smart Control has a Bluetooth connected gun to the pressure washer where you have 3 options of power to use the multi-jet lance. Personally, I think it's gimmicky and a bit pointless. Half the time it doesn't come on, and with this particular trigger the power is maximum on the lowest bar setting and least on the 3 bar, which is annoying. In my opinion, you're as well to leave the batteries out and just use it on full power all the time, as the lowest and intermediate settings are something I've never used, even for car cleaning, as you'll need full power for a snow foam lance or removing pre-wash or decontamination chemicals for the maximum water flow. I'll cover this in a little more detail when it comes to car cleaning. You won't have those worries with the K7 Power, as that's a standard trigger, and in my opinion it's the best option. I'm going to use a soft wood fence slat to test for any damage that might be caused by the different settings on the lance. I'll be getting quite close with the Karcher lance for demonstration purposes only. Starting the test then on the mix setting, which is for adding chemicals through the plug and clean system. This is the lowest power output for the K7, and it offers very little other than a powered rinse. As you can see, there's little to no chance of any damage to any material on this setting. Moving one click around though to the 100% plus turbo setting, and on this particular attachment it's not quite getting the ball rolling, so to speak, just like it didn't earlier when I was on the slabs. After a few attempts, it finally burst into life, causing quite a bit of damage to the wood. I must point out again that I do know it's not supposed to be used for cleaning wood. This just to demonstrate what damage each of the settings could inflict without using my car as a test. So in this particular machine, it's got a fault. The lowest setting on the display delivers the maximum 550 litres per hour of water and up to 180 bars of pressure. I've tried taking the batteries out and looking online for a fix, but drawn a blank on that one. Let me know in the comments if you've had any difficulties with the Bluetooth power control on your pressure washer. So let's see if this can cause any damage to the wood. I've gone wide and close in, and even almost touching the wood, it's hardly damaged a splinter, unlike the Turbo Power Plus. Karcher now has a wider EcoBoost lance to improve cleaning power, but also use less water. I haven't tried that one yet, so I can't comment on it as to how effective it is. So just a quick reminder that when you connect your pressure washer up to your garden hose for the first time, if you've just dug it out the garage for a spot of car cleaning, keep the machine switched off and pull the trigger for a minute or two to purge the system. This allows any trapped air in the system to be removed without causing any damage to the pressure washer. With the K7 you can only fit the 3-in-1 lance one specific way, and that's to line up the sort of flat spot piece to the top. Don't go with lining up the yellow stickers, as the yellow stickers are on both sides of the 3-in-1, if that makes sense. The K7 Premium comes with a 10 metre hose conveniently stored in its own built-in hose reel. 10 metres is a lot of hose to be wound around a reel, and sometimes it's a little tricky to unwind. But once it gets started, it's usually good to spin around until all the hose is out. The machine's weight is enough to keep it firmly on the ground while you walk away from it, pulling the hose reel without it falling over, and it keeps everything neat and tidy, where the compact K5 doesn't have any onboard hose storage due to its size, so that's usually thrown over the gazebo in the garage between uses. I said earlier this isn't a direct comparison between the K5 and the K7, but I'm going to try and show you here why I think they're pretty indistinguishable. I'm going to use the same foam lance with the same dilution of snow foam, but one will be delivered via the K5 and the other via the K7. There's a 50 litre per hour difference in flow rate and a bit of a jump in pressure between them, so will you be able to tell which is which? Did you spot that it was the K7 on the back of the car and the K5 on the front? The K7 certainly coated the car with foam in a quicker, more efficient way. A combination of more pressure and that extra 50 litres of water flow per hour delivered a good quality, consistent foam. So in theory, car cleaning with a K7 should be quicker and more thorough with that better water flow per hour. It's easier to set up with its built-in hose, and remember the hose now supplied is that new anti-kink weave. It's certainly capable of much bigger jobs, but if you're like me and cleaning your own 1 or 2 cars a week, then something like the K5 would be ample for your needs. It's certainly suited me over the last 5 years, and even using this beast of a K7 for a few months, I'm still not tempted to upgrade my K5 Compact. Even though it's now called the K5 Classic, it's still under £200, and with a 5 or 6 year warranty to fall back on, it's a cracking deal. Small and compact if you're doing mobile work, Remember, domestic machines aren't covered for commercial use, but if you're taking your pressure washer round to your mate's house to clean his car or her car, it'll be perfect to fit in the smallest of cars. So in terms of car cleaning, we've seen how much better the K7 delivers snow foam. That's the extra kick of power from up to 180 bar of pressure and 550 litres per hour of water, helping to deliver a more consistent coverage. More flow certainly can only mean better rinsing and overall a faster clean. But speed aside, as you're not supposed to use any of these pressure washers with a valeting business, many do and get caught in the trap of having their warranties invalidated, then slate the machines for their unreliability. Karcher sell commercial pressure washers specifically for that purpose, but are generally more expensive, so that's why some people decide to use a domestic machine for the wrong purpose. But you could be forgiven for thinking that if you go for the top domestic model, it'll be alright, and in most cases it probably is. It all comes down to common sense and how you look after your tools. Abuse them and they'll break down on you. So anyway, back to the subject of flow rate versus pressure. Both the K5 and the K7 fall within the reach of the ideal range of water flow for car cleaning, which is between 400 to 600 litres per hour of water. I found a massive difference when I bought the K5 and I upgraded that from the K4. The higher water flow with the correct nozzles really was impressive and safer than pointing a high pressure lance at the dirt on the car. You can see between the K5 and the K7 here, there isn't really much to look at from what the camera has captured, but there is a difference. It's not much, but during the PIR calculations, panel impact ratio, you'll not need as much product to achieve good results. So the K7 in theory and practice will make this job easier, and it'll also be cheaper to run. A good coffee analogy is the K5 is your go-to espresso quick clean, does the trick, but the K7 is the full barista setup, bean grinder, milk frother, the works. Maybe over the top for some, but once you've had it, it is hard to go back. In summary, I loved using the K7 Premium Pressure Washer. It's a real beast of a machine, and for cleaning around the garden, it's so much better with the extra water flow and pressure to work with. For car cleaning, I'm more than happy. I can easily fit it in the boot of the car if I need to do any family or friends' cars, but I would be very tempted by that K7 Powerflex model at around £400 if anything happened to my compact. Nothing lasts forever. If you have enjoyed this video, please consider subscribing and hitting the like button so YouTube knows to push it to others who like this sort of content too. Thanks to everyone for watching, especially those who have sent super thanks donations. You really have helped make these videos happen. So I look forward to seeing you all on the next one. Until then, take care. Cheery bye.